bring out
or the worst in the person. There ain't no such thing as a person that went to prison and then they came back and they're going to be insignificant and some new dependence that's not going to do anything. You're either going to come back and do wrong and do bad things, or you're going to come back and do right. So it either brings out the best of the worst, but your life is never over. Even when you're incarcerated, your life is not over.
Indeed.
It either gets better or it gets worse. You either improve yourself and, do your fingertip push-ups and try to keep your sexuality what it was when you came in and all of those things. But it either gets better or it gets worse. And it's like that for every person, whether they've been incarcerated or not. Right. Your future, your life either gets better or worse. Today.
Yes, Lord.
Today. You got to get up every day as we did. I practice the exact same principles of life that I did while incarcerated, which has kept me from being reincarcerated.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
I wanted to ask you something overall, because do you feel like it saved your life? Like, I mean, being the person you is today, do you feel like it saved you? Like,
absolutely not. And I know that there are those now that got to switch to the theolo side, and I am a seminary graduated pastor. I've pastored now for over 20-something years. I came on December 12th, 1998, and I've graced the pulpit with some of the greatest preachers in America. I've opened for Bishop T.D. Jakes. Bishop Noel Jones laid hands on me, so I can peruse the parameters of biblical pericopes with the best of them. So let me say this. We have misled people and told them that going to prison or being in prison was a part of God's plan for you. Right. And that God wanted, that God used...
That's a different perspective.
Now, God may have used prison or used the time that you were incarcerated in order to better you or change you. But there was never a time when it was good for me. It's like saying that, it's like what folks are trying to do now by convincing you, your generation, that something good came out of slavery. There's a push right now to convince your generation and our children that, no, there was some benefits to slavery. Well, that's the same thing as saying, well, prison saved my life.
I agree.
You saved your life while in prison.
That's a different perspective.
God saved your life while in prison. But prison is never a good thing and was never a part of the plan. And guess what? God ain't got to lock you up to get your attention. He really ain't got to do that. Okay. But he can get your attention in some other ways, many other ways. But I understand the thought that, God wanted me to get it together, so he sent me to jail.
He set you down for a little bit, took you on a little vacation.
Not so. He desires no evil thing for us. Right. But you're right in that being in prison may have been the saving grace. Right. It was the grace of God that allowed me to be in prison, and it might have been that grace. But I will never conclude that locking me up, that's like patting the cops that chased me down on the back and saying, great job, guys. Y'all did a terrible job. Lock me up.
All righty.
So, Pastor, let me ask you, what are some accomplishments you done made while pursuing this journey?
Wow. Well, when I first came home from prison, December 12, 1998, I was a part of, and I was honored to be a part of the start of a program called the KEY program. That's segregated drug treatment or therapeutic communities within prisons. And my first accomplishment, I counted it an accomplishment, was I was the last inmate or incarcerated person that the late, great Peter Jennings, news guy, interviewed about transition and getting out. And that interview on ABC World News Tonight allowed me to speak to formerly incarcerated men all over the country. It allowed me to birth, or allowed us to birth, other formerly incarcerated people that wanted to be motivational speakers, graduate law school, graduate seminary, what have you. It allowed for all of that. So that was an accomplishment I counted. Running for mayor was an accomplishment. The greatest accomplishment was that my children, I believe,
there we go,
on the backside of life, to be the father. You just met one of my sons who just came over. I have another son who's the first African-American kid from Wilmington to win, from Delaware to win American Idol, second place.
Okay.
Just on BET. And he's allowed an accomplishment of being a parent, being an inspirational father to my daughter. I got two beautiful daughters, look like they should have been in Wakanda forever. You know what I mean? That just being a parent to them, and having owning a home, I believe that's an accomplishment.
Right.
So there are 38 real barriers to any person that's been incarcerated to a successful reentry into society, beginning with picture ID. So when you start thinking about beyond your own home, I'm 65.
And you don't look like
25.
You should own. You know, we got to get young African American men and women into home ownership. So I was able to come home and create a movement in Wilmington that pulled men and women out of the game and got them into real estate. And it got them out of the drug and criminal lifestyle. But they knew that's Pastor D. He owns his own house. He got a decent house with a two-car garage. I ain't got a dog named Spot on Dog.
Okay, don't flex it a little bit.
But I'm saying I consider those to be accomplishments.
Yes, sir.
Educationally, and I think pastoring Joshua Harvey's church and founding and pastoring that church for the years that I have is an accomplishment.
Good, great.
There have been many.
Yeah, I know. I can hear you. There you go.
Yeah, man.
But before we wrap this up, Pastor, I want to ask you one more thing, man. What is something that you want to tell the community, something vital or something, you know, passionate from your heart that you want to let the community know, man?
Well, let me give you the day's headlines and my work for the day.
Right.
When I leave here, I will call the family back that I've been communicating with. I've preached 320 some odd murder victim funerals of under 21. Wow. 300 between Wilmington and Chester. Wow. I'm the most called upon preacher of those kinds of funerals when it's been gun violence and what have you. In fact, that's where the Pastor D brand came from. So many young people, Philly, Chester, and Wilmington, did not know my name, and they would say, "I know it began with a D." The preacher that's been to jail, I want him to preach Pastor D, and they branded me Pastor D. Right. That is a badge of honor, but also it represents 300-something funerals. Right. When I leave here, I will call back the family of the last murder victim here in Wilmington. Happened at a car meet. Kids 15, 16, 17 years old having a car meet for a little girl birthday party, and young boy get murdered. I will be meeting and talking with his family and preparing for that funeral. But I'll also behind the scenes be meeting with and making contact with the young people that might have been involved in some of the violence and the continuing beef, attempting to squash that, attempting to get to his family members and other young people that might have been impacted by his death. I got to get to them before the funeral, because guess what? They want to go out and do something. Right. You know what I mean? Yeah. That's important. For me, bereavement counseling begins on the front side of the funeral, getting to those people that need, so I'll be doing that. After that, I'll be connecting with my clergy brother in Boston, where right now today, several young people shot at an event like this one. 7 young people shot. So I'll be, the brother clergy called me, and he wants to do what I do when somebody gets shot here. So I promised him I would call him after this event, talk with him, so he can go out and meet with those people there. So what I would like people to know when you say, what would I like to say to them today in the moment about life and about this thing, is that we are in the midst of a both biblical or prophesied time, and that what we see taking place has already been told to us in specifically Matthew 24 of the Bible, and that if we don't take an active role and make a good, godly response to what's taking place with our young people, and I'm not just talking about this, I'm talking about going back to school. Look, my youngest kids go to middle school. The number one thing is vaping. You know, for us, we just put the blunt in rotation under the steps or on the football field. They got clouds coming out of the bathrooms in middle school, 6th grade, vaping.
You don't even see what's
that's
going
major
on
right now.
Sure.
Carrying a gun to school, that's major right now.
Yeah.
Girl on girl bullying, that's major right now. And we don't have any messages, programs, or anything else going out to impact. So my message to the people would be, get up, get involved, tune in, you know, and don't do what Trump said. Don't stand down and stand by. Stand up and stand in.
Yes, sir.
We
Say
need
the word.
people to do that.
Yes,
If you
sir.
would
Yes,
do
say
that,
the word.
And then, you know, I believe we'll make it.
And I want to say too, as a member of a family who lost someone dear to them, I lost my brother to gun violence when I was 16 years old, and to not, thank you, I appreciate it, to not have that support after the fact, to not have, like, after the funerals are done and after the theatrics are done and after you've done everything that you're supposed to do because it makes a good look, nobody asks, are you okay? Nobody goes past the parents. Nobody goes to the siblings or the friends or nobody goes there and cares about them. So being somebody who was not cared about after losing their brother, I thank you for the families that don't get that, because we even appreciate that you go out there and do that for other families, because I'm sure that I can speak for anybody else that's been in that situation. You never want anybody else to feel that pain, not even your worst enemy. So that is amazing. Out of everything that you said you do, that might be my absolute favorite.
Can I end by telling you why I do that? It started in Baltimore. One of the actors, I've had the pleasure of pastoring a lot of actors. One of the men that I like to think I led to the Lord, his name is Idris Elba. He's an actor. He's performing in a show called The Wire in Baltimore. And he's coming. He came here to do a youth thing for me. And on the stage, Idris he had just done The Wire, and he had these scripts for the next movies.
He took it back to The Wire.
He said, I got Daddy's Little Girls, and he had a movie called The Gospel. And I said, what you want to play in The Gospel? He said, they want me to play a preacher. I said, you don't know how to play no preacher. You from London. You ain't even a real thug. You know, I'm playing with him on stage. And anyway, I went to Baltimore to meet Idris, and I met the girl who plays in The Wire from Baltimore. She had been locked up.
Snoop?
I met Snoop. And so,
Snoop
look,
Baltimore
we busted it
fine,
up as ex-convicts and what have you, and I'm so proud. But Snoop shared with me what you talked about, the fresh blood when she was a little girl. Because I was like, Snoop was a straight soldier. I was like, how you get like that? Because she was like indifferent. She had the ice grill kind of kick you and lick her lips and that, you know. And I said, how'd you get? She said when she was a little girl, she was sitting on the steps in Beefmore, and I think her sister or somebody was dating a drug dealer or whatever, and they came to kill him. She was sitting on the steps like 9 or what have you. Witness it. When they killed him, the blood splashed on her face and everything. She said she sat there in shock. When the cars came, police came, ambulance, everybody came and worked around her and left her sitting right there on the steps. Like this. I call it fresh blood shock. Every little sister and every little brother and every young person who got a big brother or a big sister that gets murdered or something like that, they got fresh blood syndrome. They're in shock. And somebody needs to get to them and defuse that shock and heal and help them. And that's...
Man, Pastor D, man, I really appreciate you, man. This is amazing, man. I'm like, all the wisdom and all the knowledge and everything, man. I really appreciate it.
True honor.
Yes. That did more for me than you know.
I'm amazed with y'all. This is hot.
So y'all heard it here first. Pastor D, the infamous Pastor D said, we hot over here. You heard it.
That's right.
So this will be the first interview with you, but I'm sure it will not be our last time all getting
can't be
together.
our
I
last.
pray not as well.
Yes, Lord.
Well, thank
Shout
you.
out to Wallow in Philly.
Yes, Lord.
Shout out
Shout out
Wallow,
to Philly.
River Gang, TSR, the podcast gang, Delaware.
Right,
And look out for these because they coming.
Yes, Lord.
We coming. Thank you so much, and you enjoy the rest of your time while you're out here with us.
Appreciate you, Pastor D.
You too. Have a good
Grace,
one, Pastor.
thank you. And it seems like we got another good interview in, guys. So we'll be right back to y'all with some more interviews, some more chit chat.
Yeah.
We got some things to talk about,
Yeah.
don't we, guys?
Yes, Lord.
All
Yes,
right,
Lord.
we'll be right back with you.
Indeed.